Hey guys, so we have some big mage changes coming up in next patch. Another rework to Ryze, I'm not even kidding, a big one to Azir, and changing how mana and mana regen works that will affect every single mid champion that you're going to play. One thing that you're going to see a lot of is wave clear getting worse. It's harder to just spam your spells and get rid of minions, so the game is going to be a little bit faster, it won't be as safe to play a mage, and hopefully we get a bit more fighting. I really want to get a vote in the comments though. Do you think this Ryze rework will fix him? Will this be the last one we see, or do you think that we're going to get another rework at some point again in the future? I just want to remind you again as well, like last week on the weekend, this video is sponsored by Overwolf to let you know that if you play, get a triple kill, and win the game, you can collect some free RP through the app. This round is only open to the US, but all the details are below. You basically download Overwolf and the replay HUD through the link below, you play like normal, get a triple kill, win, and then you claim the RP. Okay, so the Ryze rework is the first thing that we are going to look at, and his Q on its own works pretty much the same as right now. It's very similar. His W though is very different. The cooldown has been raised rank 1, but is lowered rank 5, even though we don't really tend to max this very often. It no longer roots the target though. It only applies a slow that decays over 1.5 seconds. That's quite big anyway, but there is a new part to this as well. Instead of costing mana, it actually restores 6 to 8% of your maximum mana. His E, the Flux, this is the biggest part out of all of the rework, really, I think. The cooldown has been lowered to 1.5 seconds, rank 5. The bonuses you get though from using other spells on top of that Flux are going to be different. So for his Q, if you hit them with that, the overload bonus damage is now not going to be just a percentage of what it would be, like 40 to 80% before. It's now going to deal a percentage of true damage based on your level, and yeah, actually true damage. The bounce radius is a bit lower, but I don't think you'll be too sad about that when you're going to get some true damage on top anyway. If you use your W with this, it will mean that it'll actually root instead of just slowing, and also the E, the Flux spread damage, has been removed, probably because you're going to be bouncing true damage around in a second anyway. So finally then, with his ultimate, there are changes here as well. The range is massively up, even rank 1 up to 4,000 units, which is double. It started off at 1750 before, by the way. So that actually sounds a little bit too good to be true for Ryze, and that is because it actually is. It now has a 5-minute cooldown rank 1, and yes, that is the same cooldown as Flash. It goes down to 3 minutes rank 3, so a little bit better, but still pretty high. Basically, the rework of Ryze this time is going to be your W doesn't root anymore unless empowered by your E. Your Q will be doing true damage when it bounces with your E now. Your ultimate has a 5-minute cooldown rank 1, but its range is over double to start with. Another thing to remember about all of this, even though it sounds nuts, is the true damage does scale with your level. So early into the game, it is not going to be a massive amount. But I mean, even at level 10, right, it is over 30% true damage already, and it doesn't seem to be based at all on rank anymore. So you don't have to worry about that part either. This seems a little bit nuts though in some cases. Like imagine him bouncing 50% true damage to an entire team if he lines up the Flux properly. You can't even build magic resist to really stop Ryze anymore. He will shred through it anyway. So I guess late game there really is not that much of an answer. I don't want to make the video too long, so instead of like probably going into that, obviously there are the changes. You can see what you think, I guess. Is pretty nuts, but that isn't the only thing. So in the Riot post we had this thing about Azir as well. They are probably making him purely single target again, so his soldiers can only attack the person that you click on. His wave clear would basically be removed from the game, but his single target DPS will still be insane, right? That's the idea anyway. We're gonna have to keep an eye out for that one pretty soon. It's not on the PvE just yet, but Riot said they are looking to do that in the same patch. We'll break all of these mage changes down in our proper PvE video on Wednesday. There are even more AP item changes, but we're going to focus on the mana thing to start with. You're going to be running out of mana now as a mage a lot more in fights, and if you endlessly wave clear with your spells, you're also going to run out. That is because of 4 main things. So Doran's Ring is being nerfed to start with. It no longer gives base mana regen, and it doesn't restore mana on every kill. It gives 5 mana per 5 seconds, which is a lot less, and it gives plus 5 damage on hit versus minions, as well as still the AP and the health. So basically your first starting item is going to be nerfed in the idea that you can then get other things like an amp tome if you wanted, or boots maybe. Also, mana regen is being increased on the champions that use Doran's Ring instead. Just a little bit, not every mage, but a lot of them. If you buy Doran's Ring, then your mana regen should be very similar, but if you want to opt for another starting item, it will be a lot worse. That is also because of the third thing. Your mana growth and starting mana is going to be tweaked a lot. So for example, Ahri's mana regen is up to 1.6 from 1.2 level 1. 1. She will have 418 mana instead of 334 to start the game with, but her mana per level will be halved down to 25. So to start the game is going to be relatively okay, but the later the game goes, the more mana issues you're going to have. In team fights, if you're spamming your stuff as well to poke with before and stuff like that, you are going to be running out of mana now. Finally, fourth thing that is going to change is Lost Chapter and Tier are also being changed when it comes to mana. So Lost Chapter is kind of the go-to for every single mage, right? And the gold cost has been increased by another 200 up to 1300 gold now. 1300 gold for an AD carry, that is a magic number. You're used to basing on this amount. It takes a little while to get there. It sucks if you don't have it, but that is the same as a BF sword now. The AP has been increased by 10 to kind of compensate, and the mana you get from a level up has been doubled to 20%. That's not the only AP item though. We have the tier as well. Gold cost increased by 100 to 850 now, and the mana cost reduction lowered to 10% from 15%. So basically mana across the board has been nerfed, and now you have the 2 mana items, Tier and Lost Chapter, being nerfed at the same time or made more expensive, so you can't be getting them as early into the game. As I said, I don't want to kind of like overflow you with information this time and make this really long, so look out for the next video on Wednesday, but that is going to wrap up the Ryze rework with the true damage and all the mana changes. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your weekend, but for now, I will leave you with the robots.